Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. Today is Thursday, January 11th, 2024, and we are basically at our Friday's Eve, y'all. We are here on a Friday Eve. We like to have a little bit of fun here on Thursdays, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we are going to do something called Town Hall Thursday. So make sure that you invite a few friends, tell them that you're tuning into News in Motion, and tell them to join us in on Town Hall Thursday. We're almost to the end of the week. Tomorrow will be Friday. Praise the Lord. For all of us working folk, it is finally going to be the weekend, especially for us people working at the school districts. We will be having a 4-day weekend. Hallelujah. I ain't complaining about that. But if you are in here, whether you are tuning in through Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or if you're an audio and podcast listener, we just want to say thank you for tuning in to NIM Today, your news media outlet for relevant commentary and call to action. Of course, we'll be joined by Ms. Gail Dudley momentarily, but first, let's give a few shout outs to Miss Marion Jackson, Miss Kim Emerson, who are tuning in through YouTube. Good morning, Miss Deborah Johnson, tuning in through Facebook. And Miss Kim Emerson says, Happy Town Hall Thursday. Happy Town Hall Thursday to you as well. So be sure that you have a pen and paper ready. Be sure that you invite some of your friends. And we'll be right back right after this intro.
News in Motion.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to you. As Isaiah shared in the intro, we are kicking off a new segment on Thursdays called Town Hall Thursday. Going to give us a little trial and error today just to see how it works out, but we're really excited about it. Yesterday, the feedback on the presentation was amazing. So thank you all for taking notes and getting excited and deciding who you can share that information with. So y'all, for Town Hall Thursday, and I see you, Robert Holman. Good morning to you. What's up, Dr. Antoinette? I see you, Jackie. I see you, Adrian. Come on in the room, people. Come on in the room. I want to explain a town hall. And if y'all remember, I believe it was last year or the year before, I did a quick presentation. So I just want to show y'all this of how this is going to go. This is what a town hall meeting is. Not that we're Congress or anything like that, but most Congress hold town hall meetings several times each year to meet with constituents. We're going to do this every Thursday. It's a public setting. You're the public. We're the public. We're going to have some virtual face-to-face access. And we're going to invite other people to come and join us as well. So it's going to be about 15 minutes. Now, when you stop talking, then we're going to stop talking. We're going to move on with whatever other news we have, or we're going to sign off. But we're trying this out today. Let's say you, I want to come on air. I want to say something. We will then send you the link to be able to join us. Now, please, if you are driving, don't do that. Don't do that if you're driving. If you're at your job or there's a lot of noise in the background, don't do that. If you have not gotten dressed this morning, don't do that. But we need interaction to make this work. And there's so much going on. So we're really excited about it. So let us know in the chat if you're even interested in what we're doing or how we're doing it. I see you, Deborah Sneed, rolling up in here. What's up, Latrice Jones? Rolling up in here on this Town Hall Thursday. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. All right, y'all, for this week's Town Hall, the topic is securing my vote. Securing my vote. Okay, so we're going to cover voter registration, Sardinia. We're going to cover voter registration complications. We're going to cover life as a young voter and also life as a Black voter. So with that, we're going to get started, all right? Well, first off, we got to give some. Hey, we got to give some. Jackie says, "I think this is a spectacular idea. We're really trying something. We're really trying something." All right, first off, let's get some good news, but it's going to tie into voting as well. NBC News reported that Ralph Yarl, the teen who was shot in the head by a white man after ringing the wrong doorbell, earns a spot on the all-state ban. All right, the news goes something like this. I'm a black teenager who was shot in the head by a white homeowner in Missouri after he mistakenly rang the wrong doorbell, has secured this spot. He is one of 4 students in the area to secure a spot in the all-state ban, according to North Kansas City Schools Facebook post. Now, he's 16, was trying to pick up, he was 16 when trying to pick up his brothers from a friend's home on the night of April 13th. He had gone to the wrong house, and it really sparked a dialogue of Black people talking about the danger that's out there. So when we're talking about voter registration complications, life of a young voter, and life as a Black voter, what does this look like for you? So that's my first question. And we also want you to ask questions as well. What does this look like to you? And how do we encourage young voters to vote, knowing that they have things like this that are on the table and that they're not being dealt with? Although there was an executive order signed by President Biden to combat some of this after Congress did not pass it through the House or the Senate. So an executive order went into place by the President of the United States. So how does this interact with the life of a young voter? Come on, y'all, to make this work, you're going to have to communicate with me. Again, you can put in the chat, hey, I want to come on live with you, and we will send you the link. So let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. Lori says, you look and sound great. Well, thank you. I'm really feeling well. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all a little secret while y'all putting this in here. It's not going to be a secret anymore. My husband said to me the other day, he said, since you've been back on News in Motion, he said, your colors come back. He goes, your energy has come back. He said, the cough has pretty much gone away. I think I probably coughed maybe 2 or 3 times a day in the past 2, 3 days. He said, it's a totally different demeanor. You have a totally different demeanor. He said, maybe you had to go down for a reason, but now that you're up and you're doing what you love, you have fought off the illness. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. I see my brother coming in here. Come on, y'all. For this to be a town hall, we have to work together with this. So go ahead and put in the chat any answers that you have to this. Again, we have a young Black male, and he's not the first one. We have shootings all the time. So how does this connect with or interfere or give a reason for young voters to vote? So come on, y'all, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Y'all gonna all be quiet. That's it. This was Town Hall Thursday. Now remember, when y'all stop talking, the segment's over. So if y'all want to hang out a little while longer, y'all gonna have to talk to me. So talk to me, talk to me. Whether you're on LinkedIn, you can click there on LinkedIn and we'll see your question. Facebook, same thing. YouTube, same thing. But you have to put it in there and we have to be able to see it. All right, so I'm gonna assume that some of you are typing questions in there. So we'll come back to that. So here's the next thing that's been happening. And this is as seen on X, formerly Twitter, which connects to the presentation that I gave yesterday. And Lou Mendez made this tweet yesterday, or X, I don't know what you call him now. He says, why should any young person want to vote Democrat? There aren't jobs available to make enough money to overcome the Bidenflation caused by Bidenomics. These 21 to 30-year-old people are stuck having to live with mommy and daddy, not being able to survive on the job. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a moment, because then I'll connect back to yesterday. And I see you, Dr. Antoine. I'll come back in a moment. First off, the message that he put on X is not true. The message from Monday has been fact checked by many people, including myself. That is not the truth. So we need to be able to respond to a Lou Mendez to talk about it and talk about why there are some 21 and 30-year-olds who are living with their parents for whatever reason. But again, how it affects young voters or voter complication or the life of a Black voter, we need to be able to answer these questions. And by the way, y'all, these town hall meetings, I don't have all the answers, okay? I'm not an expert in everything, okay? I'm an expert in some things, but not in everything. So we're going to do our best. Go back to Dr. Antoinette. She says, I cannot be on camera, but it matters because if we don't make our voices known, no one will combat the very vocal NRA. I like that. I like that. We have to make our voices known. And making your voices known, we can do that more than just on reels or social media. We can write letters. Hello, Deborah Johnson. I know you're out there somewhere. We can write letters. We can engage the constituents through and with our voices. The importance of voting. Marion Jackson says the reason to vote is to make changes that will make a positive change. Yes. Yes. Good morning, Shirley. Deborah Sneak says the only way to make a change is to get involved. I'm trying to see what she's saying here. Is to get involved. These are scary times. We must stop standing in the shadows and start having a voice. Okay, and we need to get out we need to come out of the shadow. So even Deborah, whether you want to join me on camera or not, can you give some ways, like uh uh how do we come out of the shadows? Now again, in a town hall meeting, this is what you're doing. You're asking questions of a statement that has been posted or written uh that has come from the microphone. And in this case, Deborah Sneed is saying the only way to make a change is to get involved. So how do we get involved, y'all? So I'm gonna give you a few ways we can get involved, and then also fill the chat. If you are listening by podcast or audio, because some of you were like, we want to be involved. You can submit questions before the prior week, whatever that is, and we'll pull those together. We will start putting the topics out on Tuesday for the following Thursday. So let me go back to Deborah Sneed. The only way to make a change is to get involved. Okay, so first question is, everyone, how do we get involved? I see you, Judy. How do we get involved? How do we get involved? What does that look like? And we got to think about the demographics. We're not only racial makeup, but age demographic, social economics, jobs, education, language, all of that becomes a part of it. Okay. So yeah, we got to dig deep. That everyone's sounding the alarm. Everyone is sounding the alarm. 2024 is huge when it comes to voting. It's going to either allow us to be somewhat on the same path that we're on, or it's going to take us completely off course. Y'all, there are 50 countries. There are 50 countries that have major elections this year. 50 countries. And I was digging into some of that and looking at some of the ramifications and how it connects to United States. 50 countries are having elections, major elections this year. This year. So we're going to have to talk about this. And again, some of the topic that I started out with, the young voters. Young voters are saying, "Oh, the heck with this." And that's why, and I'll move there in a few moments, but that's why Taylor Swift is out there doing her thing. Yesterday, Jesse Waters, Jesse Waiters on Fox News on his segment went after Taylor Swift. Y'all, within 34 minutes, do y'all know how many young people registered to vote? They were like, "Oh no, you can't come after Taylor Swift." So they got to think about the game they're playing as well, because that didn't go too well for him. It didn't go too well for him at all. So Deborah, we got to talk about the involvement. We got to talk about how then do we come out of the shadows. Jackie says we still have to keep voting even when it seems as if our options don't matter. So we still have to keep voting. So what does that look like, everyone? We still have to keep voting, which means in every election we have to vote. Even if there's just one issue on the table, y'all, we have to vote. Welcome to Town Hall for all of you who are coming up in here. This is Town Hall. Again, if you want to join us, all you got to do is say, hey, send me the link. We'll send you the link. Just be dressed, no noise in the background. Don't drive while you're on live. None of that. We will disconnect you. So we have to keep voting. Next, Deborah is saying, I just got to Cleveland. I'm still driving. All right, Deborah, you stay focused. Latrice Jones says, we get involved by attending local school board meetings and presenting concerns. Yes, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Latrice, first of all, thank you for your heart and thank you for your commitment and thank you for your consistency on this topic. Y'all, everyone has their beat. And I believe with everything in me, this is one of Latrice Jones's beat. Um, Local school board meetings are essential. They're essential. And I'm going to go a step further, and I'm guilty of this. I'll go to the ones in my school district, but I also need to go to the ones in my entire community. For me, that's Central Ohio. So that would not only be Olentangy, that would be Hilliard, Dublin, Reynoldsburg, Franklin County, or Columbus City, um, Gahanna, all of them. And you're allowed to go because to some degree they're connected all under the Ohio Board of Education. So no matter what state you live in, they're all everything within your area is connected to your state's Board of Education. A lot happens there that trickles out to Congress, to your local and state government, to your community, even I'm going to mess some of you up, even your HOAs. And many people don't even attend the HOAs. Do you know how much you pay into your HOAs? We should attend. We should be talking about, well, why does the grass have to be this level? Why can't I paint my house purple if I want to? Not that I want that, but why can't I? Give me an understanding of the property uh, taxes and the property level and everything that goes into this. Y'all, that comes out of attending your HOA meetings. Okay, that is connected to your local school board meetings. Hello, somebody. So we have to do that. Y'all are flying. I love it. I love it. I got to go back to the next question. Isaiah, please help me out. Hey, what's up, Dr. Annette? What's up, Gwen? Dr. Annette says the sad thing is many of those countries mimic the United States. They do. They do. And we're starting to see that. 50 countries have um, major elections this year. Prime minister, president, 50 countries. All right, Jackie is saying involvement looks like participation uh, in the voting process at our local precincts. It looks like actively supporting candidates who look like us and in our favor of what supports our needs. Let's break that down a little bit, Jackie. Do they have to look like us? And y'all, this is a town hall, so this is how you have these conversations back and forth, and they are healthy conversations. Do they have to look like me? Do they have to look like me when I'm going in to vote, or do they have to stand on the same morals and values? What's their voting record? We have to check out these individuals' their voting record. Look and see if they have abstained or if they only voted present, and understanding what that means. They're saying they don't want to be on the record one way or the other about that. And yes, in favor of what support our needs. But what's our need? What do we need? See, yeah, this is how you dig into the questions. What do we need? What do we need as a constituent? And anyone running for an office, a campaign of any type, PTO, PTA, school board, sheriff's department, commissioner, whatnot, your research should take place before you go to a town hall meeting. So, what are the needs of the community? All right, Latrice says, y'all, I'm trying to see what she says. Y'all wouldn't believe how much politics play in the school board. Tons. I will co-sign that. There are tons. There are tons, even down to who they hire. Okay. I'm gonna come back to the chat in a moment. This is so good. This is turning out great. Oh well, Dr. Annette says definitely HOAs. Deborah Sneed, she came back and answered my question. Thank you, Deborah. She says by voting, attending meetings, and stay update on what is going on in the political arena. We are just voting for folks without first finding out what they stand for. Can you say that again to the people in the back? Y'all, I've talked about this a lot. A lot. Stop voting on name recognition. Stop voting based upon gender. Stop voting based upon, oh, I think I saw them on a commercial. Stop. Do your research. I think was it 2022, you all, when I told y'all someone in Indiana sitting in jail, convicted of murdering his wife, got voted in office? Did I tell y'all that? I told y'all that. That was like 2 years ago, right? Because people remembered his name. Do your research. Seriously, do your research. Yesterday, Chris Christie dropped out of the race, which I'm not happy about it, but he dropped out of the race, and I guess he's supporting Nikki Haley. And he's saying he's still going to be the former guy's worst critic. But even when I thought about that, I said, man, if you would have stayed, then there's no telling what this game would have looked like. Seriously. Because you know, and you can go look at all of Chris Christie's records. You know where he stands. And I am here to tell you a lot of it you may resemble to some degree or another. So yes, find out what they stand for. What's the next one, Isaiah? Where do you think the all this talk about transgender care originated? Students at schools. Y'all, young people, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Young people are dominating this voting cycle. Again, Taylor Swift is out there and she registered a whole lot of people to vote yesterday in 33 minutes. She didn't tell them how to vote, but people know where she stands. It's like, did you really come after Taylor Swift, Jesse Waiters? Did you really do that? Now, somebody did a response about the Taylor Swift thing on X that says, Taylor, this is why I'm not off there completely, because I need to go see what they're talking about. Jeffrey says, Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. And then they go on and say, it's a young person. So they're 19 years old. Says, see you at the voting line. That's how they came back. They mad. Another person says, the untold story about Taylor Swift is her influencing young Republicans to switch to Democrats. That's fact check. That's truth. That's truth. So when you talk about the young people, what Latrice is talking about, they are dominating. 2020 and even 2022, you saw a lot of Black people in line. When I'm saying Black, I'm talking about Black and brown people, Latinos, Hispanics, African Americans, Filipinos. You saw that's 2024. They say young people are going to take over their lines. So pay attention. No longer, and I was having this conversation, and some of y'all are not going to like it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Some of you are trying to figure out, why is the church, why are the young people not coming to church? Because they no longer want to see dolies on the head. They don't know what a mother's board is because they weren't raised in it. They not saying they disrespect it, but they don't even know what it is. They don't know what the president of the EBY, whatever, ABCDEFG is. That's not resonating with them. They're like, how are you going to handle my friends who are transgender? How are you going to handle my friends who are a same-sex couple? How are you going to deal with the father who runs the household? How are you going to deal with this person who is marginalized? How are you going to deal with this woman who is sick? You're forcing her to have a baby, but maybe both of them are about to die. So how can you be pro-life and you're risking 2 lives? That's where these young voters are. So thank you, Latrice, for bringing it up. And then Dr. Annette says, oh, yeah, I'm getting ready to go there in a minute. Hold that one. Oh, we can go there now. We can go there now. Y'all, I call it the Committee of Chaos. Whew. Hunter Biden rolled up in the hearing. Like, I'm not going to a basement and have a closed door hearing. We're going to have a public hearing. And they tried to call him, a white woman tried to yell out, this is what white privilege is. Can you really talk about white privilege? And that was Nancy Mace. Okay, like, what? So she verbally just went off. So then we had Representative Jasmine Crockett just called them all lies. Talking about you want them to be in a closed door so that you can come out lying. Y'all, that was the Committee of chaos yesterday. But they weren't backing down. And then, of course, the Lincoln Project, and it's on my Instagram story and on my Facebook wall. Y'all, Lincoln Project came out with a video, 30-second, maybe it might be 60-second video. And they started going, this one representative is going through all the subpoenas of the GOP that no one has answered to, including that of Representative Jim Jordan. I said, well, look at that. Y'all, they had facts. They were coming with facts, and they were having to back down. So you're right, Dr. Annette. You're right. Next, we have Jackie says, look at the candidates who support our concerns. If they don't care, support our concerns locally, they shouldn't advance in the state and national level. Let's talk about that. We as a people, and y'all, that's why we're being very intentional. I gave y'all House Resolution 98 on yesterday. I talked about other resolutions, and I talked about the importance of understanding what they are. And we're going to start having more of those on News in Motion because it affects our life every day. Every day. Our business, our church, our schools, our marriages, our taxes, our health, our economic state, it all reflects. All the dots are connected. And I've decided, because I know you're not sitting at home pulling those up. So I'll do the work for you. We're going to pull them up and talk about them. We're going to put, and that's why we're not doing Mondays anymore, so that I can have an extra day to put the stuff together to come here to talk about them on Tuesday for That's Happening Tuesday. So that's what you're going to see on That's Happening Tuesday. And it's up to you to vet the sources and to connect the rest of the dots. I'm going to just start the dot connecting for you. But you're absolutely right, Jackie. Pastor Alex Williams says, out of the 50 countries, we are the only country where there is a question of a peaceful transfer of power. You are absolutely correct. Out of those 50 countries, and that keeps, they're talking about it. AP did an amazing article on it yesterday. Check out the Associated Press. They did an amazing article. I think the title is 50 countries. I think, I'm not real sure. I've read so many alerts. NPR they're also talking about it, and they're saying don't look at where somebody has been ousted out of their seat, but look at the actual peaceful transfer of power. Y'all pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening. And this is not a scare tactic. This is saying, let's get educated on what's really happening. Dr. Annette said, yes, stop it. And then she says, why is he talking about Chris Christie? He said there was no pathway forward when it comes to finances. He was not able to get on the debate stage last night with Nikki Haley and Governor Ron DeSantis because he didn't meet the numbers. So he's kind of like been put out of the debate stage because no one's backing him financially. And they have in the RNC, they have rules about reaching a threshold, and he did not reach that threshold. But he said he's still going to be that tough critic. Now, here's the thing. On the primary ballots, many of those are already written up anyway. So he's probably still on the ballots, but he has suspended his campaign. So people can still vote for him if they wanted to. There's a lot of pushback from the independents in many states where in the primaries, independents cannot vote because they do not designate one or the other. Now, there's a workaround to that. You can easily change and then change back if you want to vote. But they're saying that's not giving people the opportunity because it really comes down to the general election, the independents who make that decision in many cases because they have to go to one side or the other. If you all happen to read Liz Cheney's book, I want to really do a book club on that. Everyone needs to read her book. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not getting a dime from her or her publisher. That book is a must-read book. It's gonna open your eyes. It's gonna give you a lot of concern, but that's a must-read book. Donita says, "Speak, Gail. Do you? Hey, I'm trying. Kim Edmondson says, you have to ask, what have you done for me lately? Absolutely. Absolutely, Kim Edmondson. What have you done for me lately? We have to ask that question. Um, Dr. Antoinette says, I have been having conversations with my grands about their voice, about why their voice matters because many of them feel they aren't heard or seen. That's about to change. That there's a shift that's happening right now. Um, and going back to my message yesterday. Oh, by the way, for the first time ever, are we taking down a news in motion video? We're going to leave it up till Monday. So if you did not get an opportunity to see the presentation yesterday on campaign messaging, you need to watch it. My business partner by the name of Dominic Dudley says, Mom, she talked to her boss and was showing her boss like what I did yesterday. And they were like, are you crazy? Do you know how much people get paid for something like that? You're going to have to take that down. So we are going to take that down. But if you are a part of the e-newsletter, here, all of you listening, if you are a subscriber to the free newsletter, and if you're not, you have until tonight to subscribe. Subscribe to the letter. Just go to gaildudley.com. A pop up will come up. Put your information in. It's called the Friday Rundown. You will get the private link to that video. So we're taking it off public. You'll get the private link to that video, and you'll also get the presentation. So you will do it. I push back on my child. It's like, yeah, but people who support, we gotta still give it to them. So those of you who are part of the e-newsletter, you will get the link, the private link to that video, and you will get the presentation. But publicly, and they're right, I'm taking it down. That was a lot of information. Yeah, that was a lot of information. All right, Dr. Antoinette, I love the Lincoln Project. Dr. Annette, yes, sure did. Adrian, what are you saying, Adrian, who's normal, who's not quiet? A new city council was sworn in office in St. Paul, Minnesota. All 7 members were women under 40, and only one is white. That is representation. Y'all, younger people are running. Now, here's my only caution to that. Make sure you're not running, make sure you're not voting on a popularity contest. I believe, this is just me, you don't have to be an attorney or any of that. I don't believe that at all. You don't have to be a previous lobbyist or anything like that. I don't believe that at all. But I do believe you need to know this stuff. I could really run for office, but I'm not going to. Know what it is, know how to read a resolution, know how to read legislation, know how to do your research, know how to vet, know how to talk about it, know key terms, know your constituents and their needs. And I believe all of these people did. But in case you're like, I'm gonna just run and I got all these TikTok viewers and they're all gonna vote for me. If that's your reasoning, don't run. Run because you love your community, you love America, you love your country, you love what it is that you do, and you know how to respond to people. Um, Let me see what else is on here, y'all. This y'all liking this town, huh? Jackie says our previous NAACP president used to do a report card on local, state, and national office holders. She shared the grades at the annual banquet. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, who you're talking about. Now, I do have a challenge with that. This is my only challenge is share the grades with everybody because everyone cannot attend that annual banquet. And find a way to put the information out there for everyone to have, to everyone to have. But we have to start sharing it, and we're going to be sharing it here. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Dr. Antoinette says, "Good move with taking it down. Thievery is real." Listen, my daughter had a conversation with me. Um, and this was before, and she wasn't happy that I was doing that yesterday. And I said, "Oh, girl, it's not a big deal." But I thought I was going to do 1 or 2 slides. But because I love, by now y'all know I love what I do. Because I love it, I just kept going. Y'all got 14 slides yesterday. And I went back through it and looked at it and I said, "Oh yeah, that was a dumb move." So I'm leaving it up, and we may take it out and take it down this weekend. But you all, anybody who has the newsletter, you all will have the private link to the video where you can watch it, and you also get the presentation. Regina Short says you're missing out if you're not getting the Friday rundown. Hey, thank you for the shout out. Look, the Friday rundown is the bomb.com. Latrice Jones says, know the rules of running a meeting. Listen, please know the rules. Know the rules. All right, y'all. This is a great start to Town Hall Thursday. Um, Great. I didn't even get to, I had like 15, 20 questions, but I love the way this went today. Let me know in the chat if there's something you would love to see continue. We're going to do it next Thursday. And if you have any suggestions on how we can get some people up there, and this is the inspirational message. Again, I'm still in Draw the Circle with Mark Batterson. He said, this was deep. He says, growing up, I consistently heard this voice interpreted in negative terms. And that's the one that says, take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Okay. Kim Edmondson said, no TikTok candidates, please. Please, no TikTok candidates. Um, Y'all are still in here. I love this. Dr. Annette says there are more politicians who are ex or convicted felons than there are states in the U.S. So why kind of ex felons get passport, but these politicians? Great question all the way around. We need to be asking that. Great question. Great question. So y'all take every thought captive. Now I've read this book. I've gone through this fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th time through this fast. Okay, first of the year. I never remember reading this in the book, but I'm going to free a lot of us up today talking about these town halls. The scripture that says, take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. He says, take captive every thought and make them obedient to Christ. And that is half the battle. But if we see only the negative implications and not the positive possibilities, it becomes a half truth. I was like, oh, you talking now. He goes on to say in the book, this verse is not just about capturing sinful thoughts and getting them out of our minds. It's also about capturing creative thoughts and keeping them in our minds. Y'all, this is just absolutely off the chain. He goes on to say it means stewarding every word, thought, impression, and revelation inspired by the Spirit of God. He messed me up yesterday when I was reading this book. Again, I've read this now 5 times. And I do take every thought captive. And I thought about that. If we would just start thinking, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. If we can capture that all and then go back to that scripture, take every thought captive. That's every thought. Every thought. So he's right that we're only doing half if we're only capturing the negative. We got to capture the good stuff too. The dreams, the great expectations, the hope. Anything you've been chewing on, take that thought captive, positive, okay? Take that thought captive and make it happen. So we're saying, well, we want to see our communities voters. We want to see our young people register to vote. Taylor Swift is a powerful voice. Look how she sold out all of her concerts. Same with Beyonce, all of her concerts. Same with The Color Purple. There were over 66,000 people on the Zoom Live with Oprah. If we just keep capturing those numbers and stop looking at the stars, but also start looking at this is my community. I want to capture the voting age people and encourage them to vote. Not my will, not what I want them to vote or how I want them to vote, just that I want them to vote. I need to capture that thought and start deciding, how do I partner with other people? How do I collaborate with other people to make this happen? So y'all take your thoughts captive this weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday. Take your thoughts captive this weekend and say, okay, what am I going to do with it? The thought of owning and running a business, the thought of running for a political office, the thought of being a chaplain for people in Congress. Y'all, that's huge. Somebody needs to pray for those people every day. Being that therapist for people who are denying themselves the truth because they're following after someone for whatever reason, whether it's fear, fear of missing out, whatever. We got to start capturing these thoughts. Y'all, I believe we're on a pathway and a movement that's going to result in some great things, but it's going to take all of us together. So let's start sharing what we're doing and how we need help. Let's start thinking about how we are using our money and who we're giving to. Motherful, I'm almost out of here, y'all. Motherful was a part of our Color Purple premiere on December 9th. I was there sick. Kim Edmondson can tell you. I was real sick that day. Yeah, it was dumb. But anyway, I was there, had my mask on, I stayed in my coat and all that. But we gave a donation to motherful.org. It's a single mothers organization in Columbus, Ohio. The premiere was here. That's why we did it. Was talking with her yesterday. I said, tell me everything you all do. I see your website. I think you're doing some phenomenal things. Tell me everything you all are doing and why you're doing it. When I was done having the conversation with her, I said, you've been in my back door all this time? You mean to tell me that you have single moms and children who are hungry every day? And just to have that conversation to see how, well, this is how we're going to help you. This is not only the donation we was going to give you, but here's some more on top of that of what we're going to give you and how we're going to give it to you. To see her stats, her statistics, and then how she connects with other organizations was mind-blowing, which also helped me say to her name is Heidi, to say to her, let's alter some things as well, because here's a need, but it took me asking you questions to get to your need. So there's a messaging challenge here, and we need to fix this message. So y'all know what I say, y'all. It's MLK Day on Monday. Don't wait just to Monday. Do some mission work, some donations, some giving back, some volunteering, some building up, some speaking life this weekend. All right, y'all, we will be back on Tuesday. Our new schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with That's Happening Tuesday. We're coming with some house bills. Don't forget to sign up for the e-newsletter, GailDudley.com. You'll get the link to the video and the presentation and so much more. I'm adding that the resolution in there that Kim Edmondson asked for on yesterday. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. We're out.
News in motion.